We're live. We've got the EarthLabs team in the CrashLabs studio today. We're going to talk all things EarthLabs. I want to welcome Matthew Wilson, Josh Duggan, CJ Kim. Welcome.
Oh, baby.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Look, I mean, we've got a lot of talking to do about our company, what we've done, and where we're going. Maybe a little bit about where we've been. It's been weird, right? Because we haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to talk about anything, really. Whether it be through the ALS transaction, we couldn't say shit during that. We couldn't say shit when we had to reclassify the company as an investment issuer, and suddenly, we get hit over the head with the PDAC and all that. And anyway, we figured this would be the best way. So don't be too talkative.
Yeah, man, it's crazy when you think about last year and these transactions. They take a long time, and what are you supposed to do during that transaction?
You can't say anything.
You can't say anything. So you can't be like, this is a good idea, this is a bad idea, the market sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's what do you do during that? You kind of just sit and keep pushing forward and knowing that that's the strategy. But that's a tough spot that I'm sure you guys were in.
Yeah, for everybody out there listening that was a shareholder of Goldspot that had bought into that AI narrative, which was one that we believe in and still do believe in, I think, in a very big way for exploration and discovery. It was a wild road, right, Siege? We started from scratch and we took it to where we could take it to, and the landscape changed.
Mm-hmm. And I think people don't realize that initially the narrative was very broad.
It was.
I think our strategic vision encompassed big data, AI, in mineral exploration. And that's how we raised a lot of the money. A lot of investors came in because of the exploration tech. A lot of people saw the financial tech as more interesting, but they knew that all of the paths were going to converge at one point. It just happened that the exploration tech took the spotlight for a little bit, and we went full throttle on that, and we had what we think an amazing exit. And it's weird because when you talk to some investors, they're ecstatic about the exit, but you have some vocal ones that maybe don't understand.
Well, it's not
why
what they
we
bought
had to
into.
do it. Yeah,
because the new company isn't something they necessarily bought into.
Well,
Right.
just to
tough.
set the record straight, how much money was raised? How much money do you guys raise
when we
Along the way.
along the way?
27 million,
27 million.
roughly.
So 27 million resulted in, what is it now? $50-60 million cash and securities.
28
whatever,
million.
28. So
Yeah.
double in cash and securities, $20 million, whatever we're valuing it at royalty portfolio, CEO and Digi.
yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
It's not bad.
No, listen, and it's not easy, right? Like
Right.
when we started this whole thing, when we did the Gold Corp Disrupt Mining Challenge, well, the first thing was, and it's too bad Vincent couldn't make it here today, but he'll be on in the future. It's just he's in Montreal, and so we'll try to figure out a way to get Vincent patched into this process a little bit more on a regular basis. But Vincent, wish you were here, buddy. But yeah, no, when we started this whole journey, we started in Quebec. It was like the mission was take all the public data in Quebec, see if we could apply machine learning and data science tactics to that data, bring it all together and vector in on like the best and brightest opportunities in that province. Quebec's a really data-rich province, so we'll start with that. But then the result was basically a heat map of discovery potential for Quebec, which was like fascinating to have. You feel like you've got the crystal ball. You're going all these hot colors. And there was some nuance. There's some issues with, the premature tech at that time to do what we did, but it still functionally was not bad. And so the idea with that was like, okay, can we go out and make a discovery? Is there areas that haven't been staked that we can stake that have this? And so that was sort of initially the idea of the business was going to be kind of centered around that and prospect generation and that sort of thing. And what we learned was we overlaid the claims in Quebec, and the entire thing was fucking laced with claims. It was just chock blocked full of claims everywhere. Somebody owned everything. Yeah. And it was like, okay, well, you're not going to be able to necessarily buy any of these things. Like, what's another way we can monetize this? And then that's when we came up with like, well, maybe we can make strategic investments in these companies, bring our tech and tools in to show them the red spot that they don't even fucking know they have. And then that was how that whole, thing started. And suddenly, it turns out that consultancy's taking off, and you end up, we never really set out to build a consultancy. That wasn't the idea of the business. It's like a tech business. And the other thing is too, with machine learning and data science, is that, it used to be something that we were pretty much exclusively doing. Like no one else in the space was doing it. And then as time went on, other people started doing it, and it started becoming more common and all of that too. So, the moat around your tech starts to kind of get a little bit thinner. You end up getting a consultancy that's getting bigger and bigger. A lot of the cool R&D tools that we're rolling out need to be, that at the time needed, significantly more investment. And then suddenly ALS comes in.
And I think the one thing that people, don't realize is the human capital costs in a consultancy like that are significant.
Absurd.
Right? Because you look at a traditional consultancy that scales, you can have lower cost work come in, from overseas to supplement some of the development. But you guys were hiring, top AI, top PhD, top geologists in their field to innovate, and that was a considerable expense.
It was a huge expense. And I mean, those were the people that built the company, though. They built a lot of the great things that set us apart and allowed us to get into the sphere we're into. But very early, we saw value in understanding the market. I guess that's what I was trying to round out, is that we saw value on the market side of it, beyond the technical side of it, and then enter Resource Quantamental in that whole exercise. And sort of from very early, I knew I wanted CEO.CA. I knew I wanted DigiGeo, which was at the time Intiera and SNL, or the Intiera Air guys that sold to SNL. And it was like serendipitous that after we bought CEO, then suddenly Glenn walks in and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember we were the Intiera guys." I'm like,
man, can we just pause for a second and shout out to what Intiera was back in the day? That thing was the bomb.
It's the best.
I started at 24 at Pine Tree, and my first boss was Phil Williams.
Yeah.
And Phil basically just says to me, he's like, "You got to figure something out to stay here." I was going to get fired every other week because I came on as like a baseball player. I didn't know anything. So I come into Pine Tree, I had one suit I wore every day. And I go in and I'm like standing there. Phil gives me this task using Intiera, and he's like, "Listen, man, here's what you need to do. Every morning before 7:30, you need to research all the drill intercepts in the world." I'm like, didn't even really know what a drill intercept was. I was like, I don't know what am I doing here, right? So I go on, and he's like, "This is how you use Intiera," right? So I go on to Intiera. I'm like, "All right, what do you do?" So you filter by gram meters. Everyone's learned the gram meter thing. I think 12 years
percentages
ago.
or
percentages, whatever you're doing. Anyway, you did especially for gold, right? So I filtered all the gram meter intercepts that were over 10, and any company under $150 million. And so every single morning, I would put out a report before 7:30 in the morning. Actually, right around the corner, I used to get croissants from where we are right now, right? And go in and take them in. And so I'd come in, I'd set these reports out, and then I started to learn what Intiera could do. And so I went from just putting that out, and then I ended up having here's all the claims within 20 kilometers of these drill intercepts. Yeah. And then I went to, here are all the claims and the market caps and the companies within this drill intercept. And then it went to, here's a map with all the claims under $50 million companies near these drill intercepts, of which they've actually hit something over 5 gram meters or something like that. And all of a sudden, this was like this massive discovery tool. So when Denis all of a sudden starts talking to me about DigiGeo, and I meet these guys, I'm like,
"Well, you put me onto it," because when I started at Pine Tree, you're like, "Here, man,
check this out. This thing is amazing.
This thing is going to change your life." And it was like, then you become an Intiera super user, and like you're saying, you could literally look at anything. It's like, I want to know what the cheapest, highest grade copper.
Man, I had this sales guy, Lloyd. Lloyd used to come in like once every 3 weeks for me. He's this older guy. It's clearly had been there from the beginning, and he's just like, "Check this out." And he'd show me some new tidbit tool, and I was like, What is
pretty sure I remember Dan, like our Dan.
Oh, really?
Dan was there. Dan was the sales guy. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so that's what's crazy. So like if you really
Our head of sales, Dan.
Yeah. And so we had so Intiera was everywhere though.
It was amazing.
I mean, every office had Intiera maps on the walls of
everywhere.
all
we had the Athabasca map
Totally.
Any like
All the
like
maps.
Athabasca, the Manitoba stuff, the Snow Lake Layler stuff, right? You had Timmins, Kirkland, of course. You had those interior maps, right?
Every deck had an interior map in the deck. It was like, where are you in the universe of like if you're in Kirkland Lake? Let's
And then
say,
it got
like,
and then it got
where were you?
ruined.
SNL fucking bought it. And
Then it
ruined
got then it got ruined.
SNL bought it and ruined it and took everything cool out of it and charged like quintuple as much. How much is it now for an SNL license? Can we even say?
It's like
Is that
like
confidential?
it's like 13,000 US.
It's more.
No, but you got to get Cap IQ on top of that. I think.
Yeah, it's like
because
20.
it's part of. It's a lot of dough.
It's like
So
20.
Not
It's
not,
like-
not
it's like
as
20.
expensive as like Bloomberg and stuff like that,
Right.
but it's still pretty
Wait
pricey.
till Digi.
It's up there.
Digi is gonna
Wait till
be
Digi
awesome.
just comes in. You can
gonna
just
be
and we
awesome.
plug that into CEO.CA.
Well, yeah.
Man, it's gonna be awesome. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for that.
DigiGeo Glenn's like, our non-compete's up, and we built Intera, and we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
It's like that's the business model.
It's amazing too.
Well,
With my-
Intera's gone.
with the
They don't
same
care about
OG
Intera
team.
anymore.
No, yeah.
Intera's tucked into like
Yeah.
S&P right now, and it's like
They don't
no
care.
one cares about it.
That tool set though answers so many questions. You see always on boards or wherever you're looking at, like what is a good gram meter? Or I get a lot because I run a silver company, right? So it's like, what is silver in terms of gold? Like what does that mean? Or copper percentages? How do you equate that to gram meters, right? But even the gram meter discussion is like kind of not ridiculous, but in a way it can be because you're like, okay, well, it depends on the project and where they're at, right? So if you have like a 20 gram meter discovery, first time this has ever been touched, that's good. If you have 20 gram meters in a hole where there's like 10,000 meters of drilling, it's probably not good. So there's context that goes around, but when you're able to search for like everything around the world, very quickly you realize like, okay, that is good and that's not good because you're seeing all of them every day, right?
Oh yeah.
So being able to offer that tool set is like, that is your research tool in exploration. It's like, this is what matters. You look for copper. Like, does 1% over 10 meters of copper matter? Depends. Most times, yes.
And there's other things. There's
what
like
it is.
Morningstar, right? Where if you were interested in like PEA data or like 43101 resource data or something like that, like more blue chip companies or whatever. But there's nothing. Intera was like the only thing for junior markets, and it sucks that it died or not died, but it got bought out. But he was doing really well. They were doing like 12 million a year in like 08, 09. They were doing like 12 million a year.
Wow.
On
That must have ramped up too.
that was all recurring revenue.
Yeah.
That's just like pure licensing.
I think
It wasn't
like,
expensive.
all like the drill hole data is complete and stuff, like all the historicals and stuff. Like we're pretty close to
Yeah, we launched a
drill holes are done.
beta at PDAC.
Yeah.
And every time I went to go see Glenn to see it, he was always demoing it. So it took like 4 days for me to get there. But it looks incredible. You know, he has a lot of new tools. They're still in beta functionally anyways, right? We bought them when they were building it. They're still building it, but they have tons of majors that are already signed on.
Yeah.
A bunch, I think, went from 1 license to like 10 or 15 licenses at PDAC because of what they were seeing them doing. I think it's just a testament to that there's nothing out there, right? So when Intera got sold, it left that void. That void has not been filled until now.
Right.
Which is really cool.
I'm thrilled about bringing all that shit onto CEO.
Yeah.
So like taking all that drill data and being able to have that search functionality on CEO.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's, no one else is doing that.
No, and we've started with like hot links to property maps, which I think is really cool. People love them.
Yeah, but
Obviously integrating, some of that deeper level drill data is going to be fantastic.
if you can like basically look up any ticker you want and see all of the properties they have and then a table that you can query that has every single drill intercept they've ever had.
Then you start to see like, what are people drilling in Australia? What are they drilling in London? You're like, is this even significant? Because we like bucket ourselves into like, well, are you in the James Bay lowlands?
Sure.
I don't know. If you're not in the James Bay lowlands, you don't have any lithium. Is that too early to say this right now? No. It's the only place in the world, hard rock lithium right now.
You know how you used to work for Phil? Like, let's say you have like the pine tree coaching tree. You ever see the coaching trees on like the NFL?
Oh, where it's like the
all
degrees of
stems?
separation sort of.
And then if you started it with pine tree, I can't like the amount of success that's come out of that camp is just ridiculous, eh?
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Sheldon had a real talent for identifying good people. He really did. If you think about it, you got like, people came in. I mean, who's out there right now has done really good. Everyone from so I guess who came out of Pine Tree in my time, it was myself and then Richard Patricio's on the board of Next Gen, runs Mega. You got Phil who was running Dundee Banking. I think he did like $3 billion of deals before he started companies here.
Jamie Levy.
Jamie Levy's running what's Jamie's company with Kerry Knoll, right? It's doing great. Then you got
Craig Stanley.
Craig, yeah, I was running
did a bunch of
research
stuff.
at like Raymond James. Craig was actually the guy I learned so much mining from back then. I used to bother him so much. I'd sit in every meeting he ever had and
Ragoose.
just like write everything he ever said. And I'm like, this is what you're supposed to ask a person.
Yeah,
It's like just regurgitate.
Yeah.
Ragoose running, doing great at Altius, right? Denis, of course, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
people.
like
Yeah, like
That was a really
even
good
the
team.
Power One side with
Yeah.
Pat and Albert, and then you had Donato even who came out and did tons of deals out of Pine Tree, right? So you had a lot of people in there who just the access you had, the amount of deals that you saw, it was just unheard of.
Which
right?
is still cool today because all those people still relatively keep in touch.
yeah,
Like you don't really lose touch. So anytime anybody's up to something and like you got, ears to the ground, which is really important if we're going to be we're a reclassified as an investment issuer. And so, you got to be in the room and in the deal. So it's going to be
Yeah.
exciting to bring people in the room with us in the deal on this thing.
Yeah, I guess that Pine Tree model. We talk about the Pine Tree model. So we can bring this up now. It seems like a good time.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
So, people talk about the pros and the cons of Pine Tree, right? And I think that it was always interesting working at Pine Tree because if you walk down the street, especially during PDAC, I'd have people come up and they'd be like, I love you or I hate you, right? Like they'd come up and be like, I hate Sheldon, or they'd be like, I love Sheldon. And it just generally was determined by someone buying the stock or selling the stock, right? Because, he was pretty aggressive in his moves, but he was the best shareholder until he just didn't want to own the company anymore, right? And we owned a lot, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies, right? And I think that like that model, if you look at all the assets we came out of there, like Next Gen came out of there, really.
And there were huge blocks
Next
too.
Gen came out of there, all the low grade, like so much of the low grade bulk tonnage stuff that can, like we own Probe and
Aurelian.
Spring Pole
Okay.
and Mega Precious, the Rolling Rock deposit, like so much of that stuff we were in, which is all working now, right? Or well, in quotes. But yeah, like before that, it was Aurelian and Petrolifera and Gold Eagle, and like there was
Queenston.
serious stuff that came out of Queenston. That's right.
FNX.
And really, like what the question, of course, is like, well, stock went from like 10 cents to like $42,
Yeah.
and then $42 back down to
Back
10
down.
cents, right? And it's totally different today. So as soon as it was purchased in 2015, like anything 2015 on is irrelevant. It's a totally different company. They own tech issuers now, right? So
Yeah.
But at the time, really, the issue is just if you're long in venture capital, that's why venture firms have like 10-year lockup periods for their investors, right? Because they're like, you can't have redemptions. Because as soon as you have redemptions, you're screwed in the liquid market, right? Because you're literally self-fulfilling your prophecy yourself by selling something down in the liquid market, right?
I feel like if Pine Tree had redemptions though,
well, they
it
did.
probably
But they did, because that was the debt that was raised in 2011, right? So $75 million of convertible debt is raised at $4.20. The interest rate was 8%, okay? Market was ripping at the time.
Yeah.
We had $900 million portfolio, right? So we have $900 million ripping, killing it, right? We have like all these like $50, $60 million positions that started at, I don't know, 5. And, things are looking really up. And then all of a sudden in 2012, everything turns into a disaster real fast, right? Fukushima happens, the Euro debt crisis happens, everything falls apart. And then all of a sudden you have these 8% interest rate payments to make. And, we don't have to talk about some of the use of proceeds of the $75 million, but we'll leave that alone. But
I'm sure people can look that up.
but
on their
I'm sure
own,
everyone can look
on
that
their
up.
own
But I
time.
think, but even that didn't even matter really, because there was, it was public record. There was margin and interest rate. So you had paying on the margin, paying on 8%, right? So, people don't know. We built up a $140 million tech portfolio in Pine Tree, which you knew because you came in and you saw that, right? No one didn't even know that during the resource crash.
That was a rebuild. That was like
I was pushing that one and started at 10.
Totally.
Started at 10.
you were Mr. Tech for a while.
Yeah, I loved that. I was in the valley for like 3 years,
Hey,
just
he's
going back and
prancing
forth,
around.
right? Yeah.
Wingtip shoes down in the fucking valley. Loafers. It was loafers.
Distributed data centers and lasers and photonics and
Loafers, no
whatever
socks,
else we were
and
doing.
fucking
Oh yeah,
t-shirt and
that was great.
I could have used you when I was raising my rounds.
Yeah,
but-
exactly.
yeah.
But man, that was
Like
it.
Mr.
That was the
Wish we
model.
Mm.
That was the problem, right? It was the margin and the interest rates, right? So if you had no redemptions, all those great assets that were in Pine Tree, you would never have had to sell. You would still have them. Pine Tree would probably have like $2 billion of assets by now.
We've talked about this, and well, that's true. But I think even just operationally, there was some other flaws. I think, like without getting too into it, but target prices. Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
There could have been some target prices on things. When we evaluate an investment opportunity, we kind of know we feel good about investing in this, and we sort of know what we expect to get out of it. And so we set a target, you know, we may leave some money on the table, like in the end, right? Like if, let's say we buy something at 50 cents and it, you know, we expect it to like, okay, based on the comps and this working out tremendously, like maybe it's a $2 thing and maybe it goes to $4 or $5. Too bad, so sad, but it's awfully nice to cash in on the two.
It's amazing.
But people don't do that shit.
They don't do that. It's hard to sell. Selling is so
And
hard.
It wasn't really
Buying is
something that
easy 'cause
happened
every
much
deal
at
is so
Pine Tree
cool.
at all.
I'm the worst
actually.
seller in the world.
That's totally true. But
Too
it's
much
like
FOMO.
but that's why, you know, having a team also,
Yeah,
like where we, you know, doing it right now, we could do this we could talk about any deal, right? We can talk about it right now.
totally.
We could say like, look, we have a new
And we will.
I was going to
That's
bring
the
up a deal
purpose
right
of
now.
this fucking
Yeah. So here's
whole thing.
so we have a deal, right? Let's talk.
Let's talk about it.
This is an easier one, right? Because we can do. Let's talk about lithium as the flavor of the month here.
Ooh.
Right, we're going to talk about lithium. I mean, we always debate lithium, all of us. 'Cause
I hate
Yeah.
lithium.
We've had some big discussions on lithium.
I fundamentally believe in lithium, thanks to my lithium-powered leaf blower.
but you hate it.
But I hate it at
I don't know.
the same time. But I know the money can be made. I feel like it's like medical marijuana of the mining universe.
Yeah. No,
Why? Because everyone smokes weed, and so everyone uses lithium.
No,
Is that
it's
the
just because I'm a fucking idiot and sat it out totally. I'm like,
Yeah.
Man,
no
I
one's
met
gonna smoke weederettes.
I met
going to
so
zero,
many
and then
people
it
at
didn't.
PDAC this year that had not sold a PMET share.
Yeah.
They had
too.
like $10 million positions, $5 million. And these are people that do not have a lot of money. They are grinders in the space.
Yeah.
$5, $10 million, $3 million, $1 million. And people just are holding this thing. And I'm not, I don't know what there's lots of hard rock comps out there. But man, that is bold. That's intense. That's
Sure.
you've made a fortune.
If I was like that on Sigma,
That's real.
if I was like that on Sigma though, I actually don't even know where I'd be on Sigma. Would you sell it?
I would have sold some on the way up.
I
Definitely would have sold some.
Maybe
I-
hold on to
okay.
like 20%, like
Sure.
for sure. But
I was fortunate to have some big winners in the space, and
Yeah.
fortunate to have good mentors in the space where they seen like, you always think that it's gonna go higher, especially when you're part of like you think it's the greatest deal in the world when you've 1,000x, 10,000x. You think it's gonna keep on going, but you have to look after your family. Don't get caught up
yeah.
in the fervor. Markets are cyclical. Like, look after the family.
Oh, those
You
are
have to remember that.
wise words. Those are good ones.
Wise
I like
words.
that.
It's hard
That's
to-
good.
it's hard to
I'm
listen
gonna
to
put
them.
that in my head.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
after the
Sage
family.
advice.
He doesn't
Someone
sound
with
right.
triplets.
Yeah, they're wise words, but do I listen to them?
That's not Bay Street talk. That sounds like Howe Street.
No, that's the opposite.
Awfully Howe Street.
House
for
Street
this.
is like press it. Keep on
Street's-
pressing.
Roll it into 10 new deals.
I know.
Howe Street's like a CPC. They speak it. Yeah.
Yeah, learning to sell is not something I've learned to do well. I think I always fall in love with these stories. I fall in love with the founders, the guys who are running the teams, and I feel that they can take it the distance. And I get too wrapped up in that, and then I miss my opportunity every time.
I like.
I need to learn how to get off.
I like. I'm not. I mean, personally, but you know, it's funny. I've always been better with someone else's money than I am with mine.
Yeah,
In some weird ways, like it's just a risk appetite thing.
yeah, 100%.
I'm very risk adverse personally,
Yeah,
You are.
and you have to take risks, like to do well. But I'm at risk. I'm just wired that
That's why
way.
we all. That's why
You're
together.
risk averse.
I'm super risk averse.
Maybe not on like properties.
Or in life, like yeah, not on like properties or like geology
Yeah.
You know, be a good idea.
or like life, like health, like risk averse, like not.
Right. Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
are when it comes to owning things. Yeah.
Like buying and selling stocks. I am like,
yeah. You're always the sounding weight.
yeah.
CJ and I come in, we're like, this is the greatest. You're like, easy there, guys.
Yeah.
Chill.
I'm a poo-pooer. The lithium thing. Anyway, I guess we'll get into a lithium deal, Matt. You were going to bring one up, but just as a caveat, I think I'd like to talk to the overall space and why. It's unfair that I say I hate it. I don't hate it totally. It's just I'm scarred. I've got permanent scars from science experiment fucking lithium plays. You get all these different weird lithium, whether it be the brines or the brines are good and the solars are cool. All these other ones, every other form of lithium.
Like the DLE stuff, like the direct lithium extraction stuff. That's
Then
a big
there's some
thing now.
weird like tech that no one's ever
No,
heard of.
it
that
does
they're
feel like the
pioneering.
end, the cannabis run. We're like, I totally miss cannabis, and the one
Me
deal
too.
that I bought was Israel, like some cannabis farm in Israel or something. Obviously, that was the end of the run, and and when you have these lithium deals where they're popping up in the middle
really
of
cannabis
but like. But when you have like these weird lithium companies that are looking into the weirdest jurisdictions in the world,
Totally.
And
you have Iran coming out saying, "Yeah, we got a lot of lithium."
I was at a PDEC event and I had an oncologist come up to me and to start telling me about his lithium portfolio.
Oh, that's it.
I think that's peak lithium.
That's it.
I mean,
Crypto?
that's it.
No, or
Crypto for people. I had like everyone asking me about crypto, and I was like, it's like people who are, like bartending every day. They're like, I bought some random like NFT, and you're like, what? You spent $3,500 on a digital dog? Why? They're like, because it's gonna go up. I was like, shit, sell
Game
everything.
over.
Sell everything.
Sell it. Yeah.
Right? Marijuana I was at a pizza joint, and there was a guy next to me, just some random guy, and he brought out like this pad of paper. It's like rippled pad of paper.
Yeah.
He brings out this pencil, and he opens it, and it's all these weed companies, and I was like, well, that's it. That's
it.
the end of that too.
My cannabis deal is a dog shampoo company now.
I'm actually in that one too. I think. But
Is it made of cannabis?
no, it's doing
It's like
better.
like CDB dog shampoo company.
Does it chill them out?
I don't know. I can't even
No.
get my stock.
I have a 90-pound husky. That probably would
Yeah,
help.
it doesn't work. I mean, you met my dog. It doesn't work. We've tried everything. But most of the cannabis guys are now, vertical grow lettuce farmers now. So that tells you something.
Yeah, it was farming.
But I think when the oncologist comes knocking, you've
that's
hit
it.
the peak mark.
Remember Tweed?
Dude,
we
I
were
was
in
shorting-
Tweed.
You were in Bedrock Canvas.
We were
wasn't it?
like before it went.
Tweed, well-
So Canopy before it went public.
Was
Pine Tree was
Tweed.
fucking there.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
No, we weren't.
We sold it on the day that it went public.
No, dude. Oh, no. Well, maybe we had a
100%.
little bit. Okay, so I remember because in 2012, what was that Bahamas conference that used to get put on? You remember that conference? There was one in the Bahamas. Anyway,
The only way I
Atlantis.
would know that if it's true, that's how much I didn't like the space. Like I would
No,
only
that's
know
fair.
that if it
I
was
sat
actually
8
factually
hours beside Bruce Linton, right, on the way to this Bahamas
Yeah.
company, and Bruce is sitting there, and he's like, "I'm raising some money." We just happened to be sitting. He's the nicest guy, and I don't know if anyone's met Bruce, but like he's a really, really nice person. And so I'm sitting there, and he's talking to me about the space. He's like, "Yeah, I started this company. It's in this Hershey's chocolate factory." I'm like, "What? That's awesome." He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a weed company in the Hershey's chocolate factory." And I was like, "That totally plays." And he's like, "Yep." And then we're gonna raise money, 50 cents. Then we're gonna do it at $1. Then we're gonna do it at $5. We're gonna go public. Then we're gonna be first in the space. Then we're gonna go buy everyone. And the stock's gonna rip. And then we're gonna get bought by Philip Morris. This in 2012. He's sitting there.
laying it all out.
He literally laid out the entire thing, right? So I come back. I remember I go to the conference. I come back. I'm like, this is a cool idea. And then we were only given though, like I think 150 or 200 grand, right? We were like pissed because we were like, we should be able to. That was when we had more money.
Sure.
And so we were like, we should be able to get $500,000. And then we didn't play that deal, that one, and that sucked because that would have been worth a lot.
So there's a great story in that. So that initial funding round wasn't full, so didn't fully subscribe. So they went to
really?
all the brokers, and at that point, none of the clients were interested, so they were opening it up for their own wallets. And so one of the junior guys,
That may be where we got in.
yeah, one of the junior guys heard the pitch, went across the street, got a $200,000 mortgage on his house, put the entire 200 grand into the deal, and sold it $40.
No.
Yeah.
I
And
remember.
he held it until that time, and then he retired a few months later, and
Anywhere.
that was it.
Really?
That was it. Yeah.
That's a
And
good story.
yeah, it's fantastic.
I remember standing over Jay and Gord
yeah.
in the trading room on that
Wow.
Tweed IPO.
yeah.
What an interesting.
They're like, we're gonna sell it now, and I'm like,
we did buy some of that.
we
deal.
did. Yeah, there's
Oh,
some.
all right.
I don't know if it was a lot, but it was some. And
I
then
like the one we didn't buy.
Have you
but
ever borrowed?
I grew up. I went to that Hershey's factory on school trips as a kid.
Yeah. Well, you were close.
It was in our fucking.
It's a great story.
backyard, dude.
It's a story. That's got to say, like the deal, right? It's a tech knows this, and technology
Yeah.
plays like you get it, right? Like people come in, and like for those of you who've sat in through a venture tech meeting, if you're pitching any sort of venture tech fund, like the first thing they want to know is a story. They're like, we don't really care. Like tell us the story. It's like, how many words are on your slide? More than 9? Okay, get out. So it's like in tech meetings, it's like I got 9 words a slide, and basically it's 10 pages. And if the story doesn't sell, all the details are in the appendix, right? So like I got to get sold on the story in 10 pages. I feel like we forget that sometimes in mining, right? We're like, we're gonna do this. We forget the story. I like to think that we're we focus a lot here, like on story. We're like, we're going to go for something that's cool.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do this so bad, this whole podcast. Because I feel like if we can invest in things that we like we go through them and, you know, they cut the mustard for us. We know we have a lot more experience than most people at this, right? So if we can come up with the deals that we like and, you know, and hopefully we can tell the story better than they do. And I know 99.9% of the time they tell a pretty shitty story, even if they have a good one. They don't tell it good.
Yeah.
And so I liked you know, to toot Crestcat's horn and Quentin. I like that. I like that he goes and says,
And tells a story.
He's like, okay, I'll tell you newfound gold why I like it in my way.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I don't, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You go listen wherever the fuck you want, but here's what it means to me.
I met Quentin in 2009. He's one of my first site visits. I met him in Red Lake, and not that I knew anything at the time. Maybe it was 2010. Anyway, he sold me on basically this asset, Spring Pole, which was in Gold Canyon, right?
100%.
And he told such a good story about it that it was going to be 10 million ounces that you forgot the fact that it was under
A lake.
like not just like a lake. Like we think about lakes, like we think about lakes in like southern Ontario here, like they're like, you know, but think like this is a big lake.
This is
There's
like
some
a-
deep sea fish in there.
And
There's like a big like
I remember-
U-shaped dam required.
I remember Mark Ragouz came up and he's like, watch this. And so he goes like with the boys out and he's like, watch this. He goes and grabs a fishing rod and he just starts fishing with the guys. And he's like, all right, I'm going to know if this project's going to work or not. I go, how? He's like, hey guys, how's the fishing here? And they're all like, it's great. He's like, it's never going to work.
So true. Puffy Lake. They tried to revive that. Gord. Oh, what was his name?
Glenn.
Glenn.
Because the tailings then.
Glenn, yeah.
The
Well,
tail-
yeah,
yeah,
the
the
tailings
tailings
all
had
full
a-
of fucking pike and shit. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, that's...
You know, I think Spring Pole is actually being pushed forward right now. I don't know if it's going
Is
to
it
work
really?
or not.
What-
but I
what
think
is
people
it
are
in?
pushing
Keith
forward.
Newmeyer bought it. First mining finance. Yeah.
First mining.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's being pushed forward. That asset, if you ignore the lake, is awesome.
And there's a lot
So
of gold
cool.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this like high grade trend in the middle of it, like pointing down.
Yeah, it was like one of his first deals. Like when he came
Yeah.
out with First Mining Finance, it was around the same time as we did Land Bank, which ended up being Newfound Gold. But when he was doing First Mining Finance, that whole land banking concept, like depressed markets go and snap up things, he bought Hopebrook, he bought Spring Pole, I forget what else, a bunch of stuff.
Hopebrook's the one in Newfoundland, right? That's the old
Yeah.
Castilian deal.
So
That's on the south side.
It's never
yeah.
gonna work.
Hopebrick was a
It's
tough
open
one.
forever.
Castilian was one of those things that they drilled the same hole.
It was an impulse
100
buy.
times.
It was a fucking impulse buy for sure. Yeah. So anyway, but lithium. So I like, just to round that out, because we're gonna go back. I'm sure there's somebody like, come on, tell us about lithium. What kind of lithium thing do you like, assholes? Yeah. So I think they're all science projects, except unless they're like Brian's or Solar's. And so I have a soft spot for those ones. However, this Sigma thing is fucking crazy.
But you know, North
So I'm
Aust-
okay now with like the pegmatite.
But there's huge hard rock operations in North Australia, right? Like it's been going on
Oh,
for a
for
while.
sure. I know.
Big
I'm
time.
just an asshole. I'm just stubborn that way.
I will not accept this.
I like vanilla,
not gonna
like
work.
Gold.
I just want
base
this to
metals.
evaporate
Yeah.
evaporate for a while.
there's tons of ounces in the fucking ocean too.
But
Of
hard,
everything.
but
And I
hard-
actually like that, by the way. I think it's a fantastic
Yeah.
story.
you know that story? There's a company in Australia that's worth like $1 billion. I always forget the name. Anyway, there's a they went out and they got all the permits for like international waters, and they basically just blanket staked international waters.
Isn't that what Brian's doing? That's his whole company. It's called the metals,
Is that what it is?
the mining the metals.
They're
group.
doing the nodules, the nickel
100%.
nodules, and
It's
is that the same
Nautilus
thing?
all over again.
It's not, but like they're actually doing it.
Yeah, man.
Like there's a ship out there right now that's like literally dropping
they
like
got a ship. I don't know if they're actually doing that.
It reminds
but
me of that game you go in like the arcade, which like gets the
dude, Nautilus.
you know
is
you
doing
drop the hand and you pick up the
Yeah.
toy. It's kind of the same thing.
It's the easiest pitch on earth. It was worth billions. It's the easiest pitch on earth. It's like 70% of the world's is covered in oceans. And we're all crazy sensitive about mining and like environment and all that kind of stuff.
Let's go to the ocean.
Let's
Nothing
go to
can
the
wrong.
oceans at the bottom of the, nothing could possibly go wrong.
Nothing can
at
go
the at the bottom of the oceans when you're like anoxic, there's no photosynthesis happening. There's literally no vegetation or anything. Your biodiversity is, you know, cyanobacteria and some like extremophiles. That's the extent of it. Then they're like, okay, we'll just mine down there. And there's tons of this shit, like these black smoker things,
Yeah.
and some serious
That's
research.
right.
Like, there's a lot, man. these rift zones, these like black smoker fields. That's what VMS is.
Yeah.
Is all these black smokers. You collapse them, and then over time and temperature and pressure and fucking whatever, and then you get these like massive sulfide like lenticular things. And so I knew a guy when I was in Norway he works for the UN now, but he was doing his PhD on those things, and I think it was like tech. It was somehow tech was involved in this, and he was out on a boat, and they put a hibachi barbecue with a submarine upside down on one of these like fucking Marianas Trench style like black smokers, and the whole thing filled up with sulfides in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then they pulled it out, and it was like chock full of like chalcopyrite and shit,
Just a bunch of copper in there.
and gold. And
Why'd you
weird
need a
size.
hibachi?
Wow.
What would the hibachi do?
It like collected underneath the upside down hibachi on the like on
pretty
the
cool.
vent.
Yeah.
It, like
Wow.
and like stuck to it. Something like that. Anyway, that was the story.
Call Hibachi Ocean Metals. It's the next company we're
Yeah.
founding out of EarthLabs.
Danny always said it's
Coming
like
here we
the
go.
Hibachi Ocean Whales.
would
That's what I would call it.
That's not a
PPO
good
next
idea.
week.
That's not going to go over well. A bad idea.
Yeah.
he said that's the ultimate optionality play when like everything's just rocking and you like run out of opportunities. Like all the jurisdictions are picked over. You're like ocean time.
And asteroid mining.
Yeah, and asteroid mining.
The metals company. Here you go. This is Brian's
This is
deal.
amazing. There. Oh, so we're talking about the same deal.
Brian Brusbrega.
That's-
Yeah. Well, he's all in
That's-
this.
That's really
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
kidding.
Juicer and all those guys. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I think-
this is it.
I think Juicer's in it.
This is the Aussie one, right?
They went public. They IPO'd it. I read
Very
it over
cool.
in the thing. It was like $2 billion US.
yeah, very cool.
NASDAQ listed thing.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong with this idea.
No. But Nautilus was
so
my favorite
cool.
narrative ever.
Nautilus was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But Nautilus was going to like scrape. I think the difference is this is like picking nodules, at least as I understood. I think there was a daily or something on it that they
Yeah.
interviewed the guy, right? So it was like this is like picking nodules off the ocean floor versus like Nautilus was like we're going to like rake the floor with a giant
Yeah, it was like
mechanical
a-
rake and
they had the
anything that's in
machinery
there.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They actually had subs and stuff to do it.
It was
Right.
insane. They engineered all of it. It was
Wow.
like mega.
I wonder where
machines.
like who has them now. They sold
I
them.
think, no, I think they still
I think they
exist.
still exist. Yeah, I don't know.
Sold them
I don't think they
to
have
the
any.
cartel to
They
transport.
got fucking mangled by Papua New Guinea and
Yeah.
spit out and left over, and that's it. That's what happened.
There's a company in Silicon Valley, Meteor Mining, again,
Yeah.
and they raised a whole bunch of dough.
Ah, see, that's so stupid.
Yeah, they were in.
Yeah.
Did they just go to Sudbury?
No, they're fellow
Yeah.
fellow Y Combinator company.
Yeah, like
They did a big round.
they don't.
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
silly. Like I like a good story, but that's so fucking silly. It's like you
So
can't.
they
even
only
in the
mine
ocean.
meteors? Is that like the thing?
Don't you need a geologist
Not
on your
yet.
team if you're gonna do that?
No, you just take the whole
Nah.
meter.
Yeah. You just like
That's
drag it back to the
unnecessary.
earth.
The
Tractor
geologists
beam.
know.
It's whatever it is, man. If you can even figure out how to do that, like Elon Musk is still trying to figure out how to land the rocket
Yeah.
a bunch of times in the same spot. Like that's like carrying people and possibly a little shitty satellite, like not an actual economic quantity of metal, like solid heavy, like
Especially
anything.
when you start talking about those heavy, like it's like we're not going to the moon to mine gold. We need more. We have enough gold. It's okay.
So if you mess
But
up,
like you're bringing
like, you're
copper,
dead.
it's heavy metal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like heavy.
like what do you? Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Like I didn't know that like native copper.
You could control like shoot it back in, but I don't know how that's gonna work out either. You know.
I think it's called the movie Armageddon.
Yeah. So on task, lithium. Matt, what's a good lithium name? What are we in? We're in a couple. Some of them we don't want to talk about because it's too early.
We can talk about it. I don't actually
Okay,
mind talking
all right,
about
all right,
it. You
talk
know what? I
about
don't
it.
mind talking about it. I
Yeah.
think that it's important. You talk about your logic. You're like, here's a deal.
Okay.
Sure.
I like this deal. I like the team. That doesn't mean that I love the deal. I like the deal enough. I think it's
Like
a
it enough
good it's a
to-
good investment for sure.
Yep.
So we own a company. We'll start with team. So we own a company called NOAL. That's the ticker, NOA Lithium, right? So a little bit of some scars on the team right now, right? So Taj Singh runs it from Discovery Silver, right?
Which was a huge deal.
Huge deal.
Yep.
Goes to $1 billion company.
He
Randomly,
just recently resigned too, like
right?
last year.
Yeah, he just stopped there. So he goes off and he meets with these Abra Silver guys. Abra Silver is a company in Argentina, Salta province. Very cool project down there, right? Can't seem to get a ton of market traction. So these guys come together, but amazing understanding. And the sidelines, these Abra Silver guys basically advised all these lithium takeouts, advised the Chinese and Gangfang. They advised NOA, like all these things. And they come together and they say, look, we're gonna change the narrative a little bit, or at least I thought that that's what the change of narrative was, and they say, all right, we're gonna drill the edges of the brines because you have all these brines in Argentina. They've been around forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where most of the lithium came from, like the triad basically of lithium producers produce forever. And then all of a sudden you have these brines. So they're like, we're going to stake all of this ground on the edge of the brines, right? Where like we have theories that the brine goes under cover and like deep undercover, like 300, 400, 500 meters, right? So the brines are right at surface. And then also we're going to stake as many nuisance claims as possible. And like these claims in the middle of a brine. So what's interesting, if you think about brines, don't think about it like mining, right? It's not like hard rock. So a brine is basically just like
Easier to think of it like oil.
think about like oil, like
Yeah.
it's a field, right? So basically if I put a well and a pump in the middle of an oil field, I can do whatever I want if I have that land. So a nuisance claim in oil, just like in lithium, is a huge deal. It's not
especially in the brines.
it's a huge
Nice.
deal, right? Because you can just start mining and you know the brine is there, you know the consistency of it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So these guys, they go out in this private company and you got this team, experts in Argentina. And for anyone that's ever operated around the world, you understand that like you really have to, can't just go into Argentina. You can't just go into other countries around the world and be like, hey, I'm going to do this, right? You have to know the right people. These Abra Silver guys are awesome. They're
and
terrific.
if you're listening to this story, sorry to interrupt, if you're listening to this story thinking Argentina and you don't know shit about lithium, like
do that in
that's like
lithium.
literally ground zero for all
yeah,
lithium.
it's amazing.
It's
Lithium,
like-
Argentina and Chile, right? Chile is like 20% of the world's lithium. Argentina's, I forget what, a
Like
lot.
a lot.
A lot,
Like,
right?
it's like-
and what's interesting, I
the-
just got educated about this, is that Chile has nationalization on lithium. So the way they export it is
Oh, I
different.
didn't know that.
Bolivia is the same thing, right? So they control it. Argentina, of that triangle, is the only country that doesn't have
So they have like a
nationalized-
free, they have
so
like
it's
a free market
So it's free market, yeah.
Wow.
So again, I'm learning this all from our
investment.
NOAL guys, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so these guys are drilling the edges here. So so they're like, look, it's going to go under. They have geophysics to show that it goes under, etc. Okay, tons of land doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I chatted with a few people and they're like, edges of brines, it must be the top of a cycle.
And
That
the
was my
edges
assumption.
and the edges are like higher grade. Are you getting
Okay,
there?
so hold on, we're
Yeah,
gonna get there.
okay.
So the edge of the brine, well, it must be top of the cycle because like it doesn't matter and like whatever.
Right.
So that was my assumption too. Okay, I'm like, whatever, this doesn't matter. Meanwhile, the edge of the brine apparently is where the seniors are going right now that operate in Argentina. They're drilling on the edges, and why are they drilling on the edges? Because apparently the dilutants, which is super important when you're dealing with brines, the magnesium to lithium ratio, incredibly important. It used to be that anything over 3-to-1, irrelevant. Don't really deal with anything over 3-to-1. Now it's like 10 because lithium went up so much, right? So,
And
but
what's
they're-
the average grade of brines that matters?
so it used to be that it was like 750 ppm, 700 ppm and above. That was where you're like, that's a good brine, okay?
Yeah.
And now it's like people are mining 300. So the recent Argentinian takeout, right? This lithium Chile is a 2.5 million ton resource of 300 ppm or something like that, right? And it's $200 million market cap, right?
Yeah.
So these guys, the brine that they're on the edge of right now, which is owned by Plus Patrol, okay? And
Paw Patrol.
so these guys, they're like, okay, well, this is the 350, 400 ppm brine. They're like, the grade are going to go up on the edges. And so I'm like, oh, and then they're just like, no, but these seniors, and they go through the seniors that are doing it. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. And they have 143,000 hectares of these edges on these brines that are all producing to show that. So I go, that's a cool theory. So regardless of the top of lithium, which of course it is toppy, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But regardless, this is a story that would play because it would be such a big discovery because there's so many claims that would fall under the line of this. And then there are these nuisance claims that make it basically the downside very limited because the market cap, I don't know, is $20 million to $15 million, something like that, right? So your downside is limited, right? The worst case scenario is they get bought for that because they have these claims where they have to buy them for that. The upside scenario is that they prove up anything over 300 ppm, as we just said, for the takeout, the relative comp, right? And if the dilutants are anything under like 8, then you're laughing because you have this giant land position and you're talking hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of value because of this theory. So I like stuff like that. I like these it's not a science experiment because I agree with you. I hate science experiments, but
It's in like an area that's not an experiment for lithium as far as lithium goes. It's a
province.
type of mineralization.
Does
or
it
a type
cost
of
more to drill then? 'Cause it's
resource?
undercover.
so it's a little bit more expensive than dealing with a brine, right? But it's sort of like you're still just pumping a well, right? So they have $8 million in the bank right now. It's a good point. Definitely more expensive to get down there. But once you're down there, it's kind of like you're just pumping brine, like pumping solution out, right? So it's not overly complicated if it works, right? So that's why lithium in brines is so for so long has been so easy because it's like, yeah, it's just here's like move this lake, right? It's like, and then let it evaporate.
Do you remember did you guys see the Iceland thing?
Which I
Were they?
Oh,
He sold all the land.
dude, no, I went into this. I was looking for gold in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, let's look into this for a second. So the Geological Survey of Iceland is fucking like on another level, right? Because like all the geothermal, there's only like 300,000 people.
So fair enough.
It's like geology matters more to them than anybody,
Yeah.
really, on a per capita basis.
There's
It's
so much
like-
going on there.
like geology, like thermal fucking everything
Yeah.
and all that. It's like very important. So
Plug for Iceland. I love Iceland.
yeah, and so they
amazing there.
apparently
Great
like so their geological like data repository as a country is phenomenal. Like, and it's all modern. It's just like super cutting edge. So because of all the geotherms and all the drilling that went into the geotherms, there was actually a geotherm that was producing gold and like a lot of gold. And I thought, holy fuck, really? And but more commonly, there's like very high concentrations, relatively speaking, for basically these geothermal wells and their lithium content. So they're brines. I mean, that's what they are. They're fucking brines shooting out of the ground. But the interesting thing is you need some like process or whatever. It's a science project. That's a science project thing. But in New Zealand, they figured this out. Like I saw some other company had similar
Didn't
geological
you
conditions.
just say you don't like science projects? This sounds
I like the
exactly
story.
like a science project.
I wouldn't invest in it.
It's a great story.
And nobody owns it. Like, I mean, there's no way to play that.
Right.
But when there is, fucking,
That's a cool story.
yeah,
That's a good one.
We'll do the next pod in the Blue
Viking
Lagoon.
lithium.
I got so sold on geothermal like 10 years ago. I was
if
like,
I see
that's
a Viking lithium deal, I'm
Viking
like
lithium.
next level toppy in lithium.
Oh, shit! If Viking lithium,
Guys, we haven't even seen. The only thing that I remember, the last lithium cycle, right? You haven't even seen the vanadiums, although you just saw vanadium, the district metals thing. Like vanadium was moving, all this, right? Then rare earths. That's
love
when you
how-
know rare earths.
oh, rare
When are
earths.
rare earths coming?
Yeah.
Right? When you see a bunch of rare earth deals, it's like we're going to recover every single one of the 31 important rare earths and we're going to separate them. And as soon as that comes, then it's like, all right.
I love how Rick Rule calls them scamium.
Scamium.
It's like one of those stupid scamium things. It's like, yes, that's exactly what it is. No, but the rare earths are cool though, because technologically they're super important. Like a lot of
Massively
these-
important.
Like massively important.
Massively important.
And then
Just-
China has these ionic clays,
Yeah.
which produces like all of the
yeah.
cheap rare earths.
You
Period.
can find another clay. I did that with actually the CEO of Gold Canyon at the Kiko.
Ramon
We
has a
were
clay.
looking all over the world. We were looking all over the world for these clays. We found one in Tanzania, and we were doing some work with Sumitomo, I think. And we were trying to figure out, we're like, does this? But the clay wasn't mineralized enough, which was too bad because you found the clay, but then you're like, yes, but then there's like nothing in it. It's like, damn it.
Ramon has a clay. The Hochschild guys.
That's right.
They got a clay.
Yep.
Huge deal.
Fucking huge clay.
Big thing.
Secret.
Not so
So I gotta
secret
call.
anymore.
It's public.
No, secret revealed. I'm calling Ramon to find out more. I'll share my information with you.
It's a cool one. Find one of those worth
Yeah,
so much.
we're gonna find out a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's been telling me about it for years, and then he did it, and now he's left Hochschild. He was the CFO of Hochschild, left Hochschild to do this,
I remember.
and it's ionic clay. Yeah, remember he was
Yeah,
passionate
he was like
about it.
reading like his textbooks, and
He's
he's
like,
like giving
he's
them
like,
out
other
to all
than
of his
China,
colleagues,
this is
like,
the only one.
Find.
Here's my
We have
house.
to find.
Here's my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'd be so. It's so important.
Well, those guys are all super politically connected in South America, right?
I know,
Like,
I'm in.
and it's like a
This is
family.
amazing.
They're like dynasty.
No,
You know,
I'm
so
in.
if there's
Already
any like, if you're gonna get it off the ground, those guys can get anything off the ground, basically. So, yeah, if it's real,
Yeah.
I will share.
Cool.
We're-
We're in.
Very cool.
Well,
One
let's
deal.
talk about Mawson.
That's one deal. You want to talk about Mawson?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
Mawson's
tell
a
people
cool
what
deal.
we've been up to.
Mawson. Okay, I guess people want to know that.
Yeah, maybe
good one.
maybe they don't know. Maybe they're
We
like,
can talk about Mawson.
gives a
Yeah,
shit
so
about
we've,
Mawson.
we've been pretty busy. I think we have 9 or 10 new investments. I should
Yeah.
probably know that better. But but
we love them all.
yeah, we've really you
I
know
really
what?
actually genuinely
I
do.
really do. I
Yeah.
really do like them all. We've diversified pretty well. We got good at gold, like even in the new ones, good gold exposure. We got lithium, but these kind of like new
Copper.
lithium discovery things. We got big copper plays, big copper plays. The copper
Copper's-
stuff. We have
copper's
lots.
probably where it's
We have
at.
lots to talk about with
Yeah.
cool copper stuff, discovery stuff there.
That's its own episode.
That could be its own episode. Yeah, we have big things to talk about there. But been real busy. And so Mawson was actually, interestingly enough, Mawson was our first post kind of thing. It was our first real big wave. And Mawson, I've known Mawson. You've known Mawson. We've known Mawson for 12 years, right? Mike Hudson, who's the chairman of Mawson, I've known Mike for a long time. Really good guy. Phil Williams on the board as we've gone through. I've known Phil for a while. Phil, actually, Mawson, I think, was one of the first deals I bought at Pine Tree personally. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. It was like $3. It's like 20 cents today. But,
but you can only go up from here.
You can only work from here. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's one of those. It was one of those stories like, well, you know, at this point, it's like one of those stories. $70 million has been spent, so it must be worth 100. That's not really true. That's not how it works. But Mawson, though, in this case, there was a spin out of Mawson that was called Southern Cross Gold. And Southern Cross was listed in Australia, and they hit these banger holes, like 200 meters of 4 grams.
Steph, bring up Southern Cross. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, no
bring
problem.
up Southern Cross.
I don't
Let's
think a
look at
lot of
some
people
shit.
know about it.
No,
Our-
it's
our
crazy.
viewers,
So
because
Southern Cross,
it's
so
only-
50 kilometers south of Fosterville, right? Mike Hudson runs it. Great, like amazing technical team. Like you won't find anyone speaking negatively about Mike and his ability technically. In his other company, Hannon, he's working with like Tech and Sumitomo on this giant project. Like he's a really sharp guy. Anyway, Southern Cross does this thing. And, you know, they start with 15, 18 meters of 4 grams. But anyway, they start drilling these 300-meter holes of 3 grams and stuff like that. And I think they drilled a hole. It was like 800 meters of 1.5 grams or 2, like some gargantuan hole. And it just keeps going in this system. And it's clearly just a very large mineralized system. And it's gold and antimony. Makes a lot of sense. Denis can speak to these models,
Dude,
of course.
This is just south of Fosterville, and they've hit some smashers.
Yeah, look at that. 120 meters of 4, 300 meters of 2.5, 221 of 15. Like big.
I like how they highlight I like how they've done it low grade, but the fact of the matter is there's like some real high grade shit.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
for sure. Like
Like they've
39
got
of
some
7.
really bonkers stuff. In
Yeah,
there.
amazing stuff. Anyway, so
Yeah.
this thing gets going, and Mawson, tying it back, Mawson owns 61%
of this company.
of Southern Cross,
Wow.
right?
Like
And
the
it's
whole
hard.
thing.
And if you're in Canada, unless you open up an Aussie account, you can't own anything in the ASX, right?
Yep.
Super complicated, kind of sucks. So I knew it from again when they spun out a long time ago. So Mawson has this position, and Mawson was trading at the time, I think 12 cents. And Southern Cross was trading it, and they had this huge ARB where they probably had 20 cents of value in Southern Cross. Meanwhile, they also have in Mawson this project that's had $60 million spent on it that has an NPV of $205 million. It's a gold project with about 1 million ounces in Finland, right? So that, you know, at 60 cents, who was it that one of the old gold guys? Anyway, a good gold person gave them like $10 million at 60 cents back to push it forward. So lots of different interests in this. So they have this project for free. It's an ARB. So we went in and bought a big block.
It was trading at what was it trading at again? Market valuation?
Yeah, so when we got in there at 15.
It was like 20 million, roughly. Not even.
Yeah, it was basically, it was, I think,
Not even
so
like
300 million,
20
300 million shares. No, so it was about 35, right? So they had, I think, 90 million.
It
or
just in that block of Southern
90
Cross. It was
million
like
of
90
Aussie dollars Southern Cross stock. And it had this massive ARB. And because of who we knew, we got in there. It was a competitive process because there was
And Sentient was unloading their block.
so there was the insiders that owned 30% of the company. 22% of the company. They owned 22%. This fund Sentient, which was out of Australia. The Sentient guys were a big deal back in the first run
Yep.
back
Sure.
like 12 years ago. I think they were a $2 billion fund at one point, right? They owned tons of Mawson. And they were unloading. 'cause
greenstone type
they
of
were
thing.
right. They were winding down their fund. So they had to get rid of the stock. And so, you know, because we knew good people and honestly, we knew the projects very, very well from our history with their team. So we got in there and we own a good chunk of Mawson now. And I think it's at
We got some
28,
juicy
27
ass
right
blocks,
now. So
man.
it's great, man. That's a cool story. Southern Cross, a big discovery right now. And then you get this Mawson thing that it definitely matters in Finland. Someone was going to probably pick it up at some point. So that's a cool one. That's like kind of a
I think the ARB's closing. I don't know. Is it? Yeah. Roughly, no? 26
close.
cents.
It's probably around like
we were
the-
like loading up on 14 and a half.
Yeah,
now.
so the ARB is probably right even right now. It's just about
Yeah.
like you're going to get like $10-15 million of value for Finland at the moment. But it's 76 million market cap. Yeah, so you're about right at it. Obviously, you're depending on Southern Cross's value at the time, right? So Southern Cross raised like $20 million at 60 cents, and I think it's at 62 right now.
You give us a 3-month chart on that, Steph, if you can. CEO.
What's Southern
Oh, there
Cross
you go.
market
No, that's
right
good.
now?
You know
Looks
what?
nice.
It sucks a little bit because the word got out, and we were going to try and get it at like 10. And then it started ripping.
Like block cross at 11 and a half. Remember 11 and a half, like 11 and a half.
Terrible.
Let's
So-
take it all.
But you know what?
It's like,
But we
hurry
moved,
up.
we moved quickly. We got in there. It's,
We
it's a
did.
cool story. It's a good holding.
We did. But this is it, right? When you're in the game, when you're in the room, you're in the fucking
and you got to know the deals that are
gotta
already
know.
happening. Like
Yeah.
we had to
Yeah.
know that Southern Cross was a good deposit. You had to know what Mawson had. Like you can't just
You can't stumble.
can't do the
upon it.
research at that time.
But show the location of this Southern Cross, just so that we're all clear. Like, if you go back to that deck. Yeah. So go down to like a location map of Southern Cross's land package.
It's wicked.
It's probably down there somewhere.
Keep going.
Yeah. It's either further down or further up. No. So it's an epizonal gold deposit. It's an organic gold deposit with epizonal flavors. The antimony is definitely a telltale, and it's directly south of Fosterville.
Yeah,
That's what
50
we're-
kilometers directly south.
Yeah, it's like literally.
If there was a map,
it's like
then we would see
if
it.
there's a nice clean map that shows that, and then you got Fosterville, and then there's them underneath, with this like belt and all this.
that's a different project.
gold. So anyway, so yeah, it's in there,
It's in there
somewhere. We'll
somewhere.
find it by the time this airs. Steph will have found it.
Good neighborhood to be in.
Yeah. So that was a good trade.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
/ investment. There. Oh, there it is. There. That's I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sunday Creek is what they have on the bottom right there.
Yeah.
Do you want to share another juicy trade, or what do you think?
Shall we?
I guess
Paycor.
the most recent.
Paycor.
exit, I
Let's,
guess.
let's talk Paycor.
We talk Paycor.
Christina. Thank you. Good work and Godspeed. It was faster than I thought, but she did a fantastic job with it. But it was faster. It was a faster exit than I would have expected.
Denny and I both love that project. We both,
Yeah,
we
we
both
did.
were like, this
Yeah.
project is awesome.
It was like there was
pitched-
zero risk in this.
Then we tell
investment,
CJ, and CJ's like, yeah, that is a good idea.
but there's like limited.
It's like, then he goes through it. It's like the red team. You always have, there's always like two people talking about it. Then you have the third person, like, you chat like through the team. It's like, there's got to be a red team. It's like, I don't know,
yeah.
that's a good idea. That
Somebody
makes it
that-
a good
I think
Peek
we
in and
all,
poo-poo.
kind of play devil's advocate at one point, right?
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Because like you said earlier, it's so easy to fall when you find something like, this is the best.
the red team
thing
shifts around.
ever.
Yeah. But that one was Paycor was crazy. It was just looking at it now, it's just so obvious. It's like you've got Ewan with I-80. It was like around $1 billion. I don't know, 800 and something million. Then they had this land package, and then you've got like the same fault, and then an extension of the surface kind of expression mineralization to the south, and it had relics of mining, like serious mining.
Yeah.
On the superficial material, and then this fault, and then this like down blocked offset of high grade that she had drilled out.
Yeah. Denny, really quickly, side note, if you're a company, if you're an issuer and you have your corporate deck on your website and you press corporate deck, don't make us download the PDF. Just open up a new window for like the deck.
It's
like,
the
Yes.
IR
All right.
PSA of the day.
Yeah.
Do
All right,
that.
sorry,
by
Denny. That
CJ.
just annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Like, don't make us download your stuff.
Don't
man.
piss off CJ, man. He'll fucking poo-poo
I'm already in a bad
your
mood
story.
today.
He's probably gonna poo-poo it anyways.
Yeah.
He's like this close to poo-pooing it
Got
extra on
just
that.
an angry
Yeah.
downloads folder full of deals. Hey?
No, my desktop is already full of.
No, the
Immediately
worst
up,
is on your
right?
phone.
No.
Yeah, on your phone. How do you open stuff on
Like,
your phone
fuck.
then?
Yeah.
You almost have to open the folder.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of obvious. Go down, Steph. A couple more slides. That one's pretty good. So you see all that shit on. So
Yeah.
we're looking at slide 10. If you look at all that shit on the Ruby Hill complex, that's all like at surface. That's all their historic mining. And then you've got this fault, right, which is that white line, the Ruby Hill fault. And then on the other side, that's all buried. That's all deep shit. And that's what she was drilling. And it was like phenomenal
Yeah, like,
values.
and insane holes, like 20 meters of
Like insane.
5-gram gold,
Yeah.
and like percentages of copper and thousands of grams of silver, like just
yeah,
holes-
like absurd stuff.
absurd stuff. Yeah, hold on, let's see. So it's 7% zinc, 10% lead, 600 grams silver, and 8 grams gold in that hole.
So then they got
Over-
this
over
Jackson
50
fault.
feet.
So on slide 12 you see it.
It's
The
absurd.
Jackson fault to the east, right? That or whatever it is. Jackson fault. And Ewan's company hit some serious shit on the Jackson fault on
Yeah.
their side of the their side of the fence. So it's only a matter of time and then I-80 started to run on that. So it's only a matter of time before she actually gives Jackson Fault a little taggy poo with a couple holes, and like away you go. But you need serious money. These are deep holes.
Yeah, there's like 900,000 meters. But you know what the funny thing is? She got money.
16 million.
20 million.
20 million.
She got money, and she had 4 still.
That was insane.
So she got money, and then of course,
Boom.
as soon as she gets money, you know, if I'm I-80, it's like, nope, no way, I'm not letting you drill a hole. Get out of
Don't
here.
drill anything.
No chance.
Don't drill anything. You're gone.
It was gonna get away from them. So
Yeah, that's a cool project for sure.
But hats off to her. She put that together. It was
Yep.
quick. It was, you know, she did everything she said she was going to do. She made a bunch of people money, and she did a great job. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely in on the next one.
Yeah, for sure. That's good deals. That's 3. It's a good 3.
Yeah.
Save some for next. You know, save some material.
Yeah, save some more. Some
So we've been
bullets for
busy.
later. But we did that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We've been busy.
Yeah, very busy. And then we did. Josh, why don't you tell us about the plans for CEO.CA? I know this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
I still think we
Yeah.
have some time. Let's go through, because I'm sure there's been a lot of comments I've seen in our message board. I love that we engage. Like, I love to chum the
Yeah.
waters on those boards sometimes.
Like on a given day, I usually count about 400 to 500 insiders chatting on their page. So like it's incredible. Like there's so many CEOs that feel comfortable disclosing stuff on their page, and CEO's free, right? So there's no paid paywalls. You can log in or you can go to any page. So a lot of companies feel comfortable to share information and engage shareholders directly. And it really helps the narrative, right? Because you have, especially if you don't have anything going on and they're asking questions, these pages are just full of angry people or people who are just questioning management. But the ones who actually engage, who share images, who are in hand-to-hand combat, do really well, and we love to see it.
So with some of the commentary on EarthLabs was geared at how much we said we were allocating to CEO.CA in terms of like R&D development costs for the upcoming year. So we had forecasted. I mean, people don't really realize that you kind of, you know, sometimes you have to fill things in with numbers, like, but plan may change, right?
Yeah, I think
Is that fair to say?
I think we were pleasantly surprised by how many ad contracts we did last year, right? So
No, I mean more in terms of like what we were allocating.
no, of
versus
course,
on
and
our
and
cash.
that's carried on to this year. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
given us some flexibility to pare down on some of the R&D and focus on
Expenditures.
a leaner, meaner team.
Mhm.
You know, when we bought CEO, I think I had a deck of like 200. CJ's seen this a lot. It was like 200 slides of ideas of what we wanted to do with it, right? And a lot of that was driven by just users over the years who were asking for changes and nothing was happening. And so we sat down and kind of reviewed what CEO old or CEO what it was, and it couldn't support anything what we wanted to do. So we spent the last year with a team of 4 developers.
Well, let's get into that for a
Yeah.
second. It couldn't support what we wanted to do. I mean, when we bought this thing, like I thought right away we were like we could throw. I'm like, oh, can we do this? Can we put that on? And you're like, nope, no.
Yeah, it's really
no,
like,
we literally can't do anything.
you know, software dev's really frustrating, right?
So what
Because
happened
it's-
there?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
not
it was,
to throw sling mud. I mean, there's
no.
no
I mean, but CEO
mud
is
in
built
this
on
thing.
custom code. It's like it's beautiful in what it is. One of the fastest loading sites, I think, in Canada, if not the fastest.
Murat did a fantastic
which is
job.
incredible. But again, it was built in custom. What I would say is almost near archaic code. So to support, you know, all the changes we wanted to make, and even to support bringing in new devs who don't need to learn
To
another
help.
language, we had to rebuild, you know, everything in a new framework. So we've been working for the last year to do that, which is really, really exciting. And of course, it's frustrating too because you have to recode the website not just for yourself, but for every every platform. You have to make sure it works on Google, on Brave, on Bing, on everything, and you have to make sure it works on mobile, on desktop, and every single feature breaks something else. And that's been a bit of a frustrating thing, but it's we have a really good team. We've brought in some very senior and experienced kind of startup devs with a lot of great experience in the social media space that have been helping us advance that forward, and we have a great team of advisors that are helping us. So we're a lean, mean team. I laugh when I see, other startups where they're in like 50, 60, 70 devs, and we have a team of 4. But from what we've done last year, I think is fantastic. And we're on the cusp of releasing what I call CEO 2.0, which has some really exciting features. Like we have, everything from reply threads and advanced kind of reaction buttons to a new CDAR database where you can actually use Boolean logic to scan through millions of CDAR files if you want to look for 43101s that are in Nevada that only talk about silver. You can do that in seconds. If you want to look for filings with someone's name on it across every single exchange and every single company, you can do that.
Really?
Yeah. So that's something we've been working on for a while.
That's wicked.
And then and then we're gonna allow people to set up alerts as well, which is really cool. So
we're gonna have to coach people how to use all this shit.
You gotta coach me how to use that. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
No,
I'm in
exactly.
this company.
Yeah.
So that's something I've been working on for a while. So that exists now. So I can show you the beta after this. But that's really, really exciting. And of course, we have like a lot of contests and things coming to the site. We have 450 million pages on CEO. Tens of thousands of stock communities. We've just released recently pages for every single US.
There's still hundreds
company.
of thousands of people that come to this fucking site.
Yeah, I mean, lifetime numbers are incredible, right?
Yeah,
So we've had 11.6 million unique people come to CEO since inception, which
But on a monthly basis, kind of routine, run of the mill, like how many people are coming in?
like
400,000.
around 400,000 to 500,000 unique people a month. I mean,
That's a lot.
it's
People don't know
millions a
that
year.
shit. They don't know that.
They don't know that. No. Generally in social media, I mean, same statistics as Twitter, right? Where you say like 90% are lurkers, 10% contribute a little bit, and 1% create communities. I
Maybe
mean, we're
0.5 burner accounts.
I'm a lurker. I'm a lurker on Twitter.
It's funny because like
CJ's not. He's the fucking Twitter god.
Yeah.
He's gone viral on a couple things.
Yeah, personal mandate for the year.
Yeah.
I want to be big on
10,000
Twitter.
followers.
Like
Yeah,
I was a big
10,000.
Stockhouse user. I'm sure you guys were too back in the day, right? Like I mean, I've been in the in the space for a while on the management consulting side, and I remember when CEO was founded, I was like, what is this? A little strange, and I signed up, and it was like a little weird and unique to me, but it's coming full circle, coming into it, it's always been fun, and now like getting our hands dirty with it, like it's so exciting. The potential is incredible. CEO is an iceberg, remember too. Like you have tens of thousands of these public communities, of stock communities on the homepage, but you have tens of thousands, if not more, of private groups and channels of people having their own communities that we don't even see, right? Because everything's
secret groups.
that's awesome.
everything's all kind of hidden, and we make sure it's secure. And so you have this massive community living underground of people who've been chatting since
The
the early
moment.
days.
The Illuminati.
Yeah,
The Illuminati's on the site,
Yeah.
trading fucking secrets.
Yeah, and they're sharing stock ideas, or they're talking, or like I think hundreds of companies have their own private chat groups, or they have public ones as well. And we're kind of like Reddit, where anyone can open up a chat room on CEO and create their own community, and we're seeing that every day, and people going in even other topics other than stocks.
So
which is
goals
really cool.
for this year. Goals for this year
Live
is
stream pod
live
with
pod.
CEO chat board going.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
That's
want that
gonna
so
be
bad.
awesome. Let's do
Give us
that.
deals to
Like
to
right away.
give us companies to evaluate. We'll
yell at
evaluate
us.
them for you. You vote on the poll what you want to see us dive into and shit on and talking on shit on. No, we're respectful around here, but we'll take them through go through them objectively and give you the way we would go through them, and we'll actually get people in here to pitch us, and we'll ask them all the questions that we would ask, so that you know how to ask questions on your own time.
Yeah, we're gonna host that on CEO
Yeah.
and YouTube and a few other platforms, which is great. I think for CEO, obviously we're gonna launch that CEO 2.0. Giving everyone, even just adding custom widgets to the homepage where people can see. If
So
they want to see
2.0
gold
goes
and-
out when? Roughly.
sometime this year, sometime next quarter.
Next quarter,
yeah.
CEO 2.0 out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then when do we think we're gonna have drill holes from?
Well, we haven't really talked about that. I mean, we can announce that here.
That's what we're doing, isn't it? I feel like that's the point of
yeah,
this.
it's
Well,
just
I think
How else
obviously.
can we put Josh on the spot right
No,
now?
no, I mean,
What else?
amazing.
Give me dates, Josh.
Yeah,
and
no,
budgets.
Matt's like,
Right,
yeah,
I want numbers.
This is fantastic.
What else do we
I'm
want?
just like chuckling
Well,
over here.
drill holes, I think, are something that no one's done, and you see it being done manually right now on a lot of websites, but no one's created that perfect live feed to grab every drill hole, from every press release, every technical report, every
Across
filing,
every commodity type.
across
Basically.
every
No.
commodity type.
Sorry, no one's done it, or no one's doing it.
no one's
No
done
one
that.
affordable is doing it.
Yeah, but no one's done it properly, because even when you look at some of the data on some of the the larger providers, S&P, a lot of it's not audited, a lot of it's not correct, and it's sitting there and it's become stale and
It is
inaccurate.
expensive.
And so we're hearing a lot of that feedback from DigiGeo's clients that are coming to them now. And so Digi at PDAC launched their platform for the first time to show people what it's going to be like to have that live feed of drill
I think
holes.
like
And the reception was incredible.
Freddie was saying like getting up to 90% was easy. Getting up to 95 was like really, really hard, and they're stepping it up.
Oh, it's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah, we got crazy data scientists. We have Angelo.
But
He's
even
from
then,
the
but
Philippines.
even then,
Yeah, I mean,
and that means
we've had
Angelo's actually great.
but we've had a
He's
team of
actually
data
great.
scientists working on this for a year now, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't easy. And I talked to other people who were
Well, and longer than that, really, when you think about it, because a lot of the RQ stuff
sure that were
was
incorporating
a lot of this stuff. Well, the objective was always to use it internally, not to sell it.
Yeah.
Or to that was a big challenge too.
Yeah.
Because then there's some things that you can just take from others, but you can't turn
At the end
around
of the day,
and sell them.
that's full circle to like the target price thing in a way,
Yeah,
right? Where it's like,
100%.
okay, well, how do you remove emotion from this and understand what something's actually worth, which is so hard in mining, right? Because like
Yeah.
tech's hard too, but at least
Yeah.
like you have like these $1 trillion companies. You're like, yeah, it's gonna go higher.
Yeah.
The
Right? Or they
illusion
used to
of-
be $1 trillion companies, but I think mining's so hard, right? Because like these projects, you just comparing apples to apples is so difficult because jurisdictions. It's not like an app that goes out to the world, right?
No.
There's so many different jurisdiction risks. There's
100%.
different deposit types, different recovery rates, so many different things, right? Like elevation matters, right? Access, all these things, community, things like that. So I think that man, having that tool set is
Yeah, the educational hurdles are so high, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge we all talk about in the industry, is that you have to have a geology degree to understand a lot of this stuff. So I think what we're trying to dumb down, even some of the tools that CJ and I are working on for CEO, are trying to help not just allow people with a history of investing in mining to be better, but allow anyone to kind of come forward and say, oh, look, there's a great, mining press release. There's some drill hole data. Well, I
Yeah.
can click this one button. It's going to throw it automatically into this new drill hole calculator that we have.
is this good?
It's going to pop it out and give you a very simple yes or no answer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're working on, right? Like, I think that to me is the utility that's going to take CEO forward. Obviously, a great site to chat on and meet new people, but we're investing in a lot of these tools and resources, some fun, some educational, just to help you be better.
Yeah. I think the podcast too is going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
Like the deal room side of it, like just getting people in here, pitching their stories, and like we're seeing them anyways.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're coming in anyway all the time. We're doing this behind closed doors. And why not just do it with some cameras on?
Yeah. And
It's not that hard. It's the same thing. We're doing a page flip, bunch of questions.
Yeah, we're doing
You
doing
know.
it anyways. We might as well
So we're gonna
get some
do
content.
we're
With
gonna do
these
like
life
deal
deals.
pitching here.
Yeah. With the life, well, because now with the life
We are.
deals, you don't even have to be an accredited investor to invest in these things, in these
Oh, that's
private
right.
placements.
That's
Right,
true.
with the life deals.
That's true.
So what's stopping people from just saying, hey,
Man,
listen, I want to tell my
This is
story
gonna
to the
get
world.
So fun.
Right,
This
it's the
is gonna
same.
be-
But if you're like, it
gonna get
doesn't matter
spicy.
whether we like it or
Oh,
not. We're
no.
probably not going to like it, right? We're probably going to pass. But the thing is, and sometimes maybe we don't. But the thing is for the audience,
Like a Dragon's Den on podcast.
yeah,
and mining,
they're going
is
to be
that the
like,
idea?
oh, those are, that's how you check. Like those, they don't even know. A lot of these people don't even know the questions to ask.
I think we just throw darts. That's what I think.
Oh wow,
I don't know what you
We might
guys
need
do.
to make deals
I
for
just
it.
throw a
we're
dart.
not throwing darts.
I just throw
out there.
darts, guys. I don't know.
We're-
You guys hired me to do this. I don't know what you think I do every day.
Yeah, we're not throwing darts. That's not what we do. But but we'll throw darts at them
Yeah.
if they don't give us the answers we want. But yeah, we don't throw darts around here. We smoke them. So
That'd be our new company.
is that bad?
Yeah, Steph, can we get that replaced up here?
Yeah.
Where's the vent
um,
system here? Oh, there are windows. It's all right.
So anyway, I think it'd be helpful to get people in and go through
Yeah.
that, and it'll be a benefit to everybody. And then they'll get to know what types of questions you ask. And then if there's something you like, maybe we don't like it. Doesn't mean we know everything. You may like it. Maybe it's up for you, and that's cool. Like everyone's risk appetite's a little different, and everyone believes different things. So we're just going to share what we believe and go through our process for the public to see, and that should help take everybody along this journey with us, and I think that'll be fun and engaging for everyone.
Yeah. So if you want to be the first one, reach out to us.
Reach out.
This is awesome.
Can't handle the pressure.
This
Get
is
out
great.
of the pot.
This is so fun.
The pod's fun.
This
Yeah,
is
we should have
awesome.
all of our
Super
business meetings like this. I just
That's
learned
what
so
I'm
much.
saying.
I'm just like CEO. I'm so excited.
I know. Pod
Every
is-
time I
love
talk
that.
to Josh, something new happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm
So
like, Josh,
pumped
give me
up by this.
dates, and he's like, I don't want.
amazing.
He doesn't want to die. Like have the EarthLabs chatter
I know what the
board. Like
team
just be
do,
like, Josh,
yeah.
you're 2 weeks late on your.
Find me another company like this,
Release
a
date.
conglomerate like this
I don't
that
want
has
the team
this
to have a
all.
heart attack over there, but
Well, it's hard, Like everyone thinks the tech company's easy. It's like it's the fucking hardest.
no, it's really challenging, and obviously we have a really engaged user base. Like there's like 35, almost 40,000 messages posted a day on CEO.
Man,
Which people don't
So
realize.
that's so crazy.
Because I go on boards and there's like 1 or 2 messages, and
Yeah.
like no one's here. But then other boards, there's
I know I got
thousands.
phased by the like online part, right? It's like
Right.
2 people online. But then I
Yeah,
learned
which-
from you, it's like, no, that's the people on your board
Right.
writing
exactly.
something right
Yeah,
then.
like-
yeah, I
like
didn't
our-
know that.
Our
Or
most
on, like, the
popular,
homepage.
Yeah, that messed me
right
up. I was
now.
like, that's people
Yeah.
writing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
we put out
Yeah.
like numbers
It's like
last
page-specific
month,
number.
and the most popular boards have around 200 to 250,000 views a month,
Man,
which blows me away for companies that you think only have a few thousand
Like random
shareholders.
ones,
But it just
like a salt-
and
like
it's
that
traffic
salt
coming from
company?
across everywhere. I mean, we
Atlas Salt.
The Atlas Salt.
Yeah,
Atlas
What the
Salt.
hell's
Salt.
Atlas
It's a cool
Salt?
company.
What?
Yeah.
Actually,
But you know
very
what?
Yeah, but what-
you can
like-
see the trajectory.
It's a cool
Like how
company.
many people
I saw them
first
pitch
started
in
off.
Newfoundland.
and
There's
like-
that's a
Look
cool
at all
company.
these- Like,
Yeah.
look at all these people looking at Atlas Salt every
And
day,
you
then
can
the
see
stock
the
just
amount of
fucking-
users going on.
They have
It was
so
like-
many salts in there. I was
Yeah.
fascinated by that when I saw them pitch. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, I
no, for sure.
got in your way.
I want to get. We should get into a salt company, not a lithium company.
It's like the same
Well,
thing.
it's sort of the same.
Yeah, but you know what? What about rare earth? We're there. Maybe depends on how Ramon's deal
Yeah, bring
is
us
and-
if you're listening and you have a clay
Yeah.
rare earth project. We'd like to see it.
Yeah, interested in clays. That's the
Yes.
that's the what do you call it? That's the vanilla ice cream of
That's the lithium
rare earth.
brine of rare earths.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically.
Yeah.
Except no one's figured
it's
out
the solar.
hard rock,
It's the
basically.
solar of rare earths.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
All right.
Shows how much we know about lithium. It's exactly the same thing. I said the same thing to Brian Prosperger the other day. I'm like, it was a sea of white. He's like, it's actually ponds. It's like, I was like, oh yeah, it is ponds. The worst part is I've seen these things.
Yeah.
Like I've been there. I've been on site trips. I've been on a
Well,
lot of site trips. That was actually kind of one of the best things about Pine Tree.
What was the favorite site trip that you ever had?
My favorite site trip. I'll tell you one of the most memorable site trips.
Amazing.
I've
Let's
had
hear it.
some funny ones. Actually, Matt will know this one. It was in Paraguay.
oh, baby.
Fucking, he became the CEO after it.
Uh-oh.
Like on the restructure, it's now Sterling Metal. That's like the company.
Oh.
But it was called Latin American Minerals, I think, right? Latin American Minerals.
Yeah.
And it was in Paraguay. And so I went there. It was a shit show. But I went there and it was really fun. And like you drive through like this German, I'm pretty sure they're World War II Nazis that escaped like
Do you want some cool stories on that? I can give you a quick
yes,
segue.
give me
in there.
100% because I know this. I was driving through there and I'm like, these people do not look like the other people. And then they were selling like sausages and like schnitzels.
They have an
and shit.
Oktoberfest there.
Yeah,
They have like a
and I was-
full like
Like blonde hair, blue eyed, like and
Yeah.
you're going through and I'm like, I thought I saw Adolf Hitler's like grandfather that looked a little
You did.
right.
For real. You probably did.
This is what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
It was kind of creepy.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
The landowners there.
Were they?
Terrifying.
Really?
Horrible.
It's like SS.
Were
So
they?
after the
Yeah.
World War II, like during World War II /sin/post,
Yeah.
a lot of these SS soldiers and people that did reprehensible
They
things,
fled there.
they fled
Yeah.
to South America and these obscure pockets. And this is like, we're talking like, you're in fucking backwoods Paraguay, man. This is like dirt roads and jungle. And then you're going for a while. And then suddenly, there's a German fucking village in there.
Dude, I had to negotiate with people for land rights that were in their late 80s that were talking to me about how they lost the war.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Do you know how intense that was? And I had to go 3 times. It was like, and they talked forever.
Really?
Yes, it is an intense thing, especially being half Jewish.
Yeah.
It was one of the more not fun
Not chill
experiences.
Yeah.
And I had, there were guns pointed in bad places in that site. That was right up there in terms of shitty things to do.
It's a fucking shitty place. I had a shitty memory there. Nowhere like that. I guess that's like appalling. But I mean, I went to bed that night. I had a few pops. I went to bed that night, and I was itchy everywhere. Like I was like, what the like I'm like mosquitoes in my bed. You know, it wasn't mosquitoes, man. It was bed bugs.
Oh.
I got
Bed
fucking
bugs.
annihilated by bed bugs.
Oh.
I had so many bed bug bites. I looked like a little kid with chicken pox. I was covered in fucking bed bug bites. I like
Did you
literally
stay in that house that's probably the
my
same
dick
house
in the
there, so-
ass was the only thing that did not have bed bug bites on them.
Oh, my
Everything
gosh.
else was covered in bed bugs. And
That's a
then
good visual.
and I was like, what? And they bite in like lines, right? You see
Oh,
these
it's
like
the worst.
fucking lines
Yeah.
of bed bug
Little
bites.
vest.
And then I had to throw all my shit out. So I got back to like the hotel in Paraguay, and I'm like, oh, I'm not bringing any of this clothes back to Toronto. And I put it in a garbage bag and threw it out.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. And then I figured it out. I don't know what I did. I think I had some clothes that I was
And
like,
you
okay, this is
didn't go back.
probably okay. No, I don't think I went back. I did
Yeah.
not go back.
Spent a lot of time there.
But the bed bugs were bad, like really bad.
Poisonous snakes at the mine where the guys would just go up and they're like, you're like, that snake will kill you. Then some guy just comes up with a shovel. He's like, I got this. Don't worry. Crack.
Kill your ass.
Dead
yeah.
shake. Yeah, it
I
was
panned a lot
wild.
of gold there though.
There was tons of gold everywhere.
I was panning.
Man, that project.
I was panning for days.
If it wasn't
The-
for all the shotguns and illegal miners and Nazis and
What
else? Corrupt government. The
What else?
president of the countries
I
on the
was
top
panning-
10 of the DEA's
I was panning
watch
the
list.
tailings for fun.
If I could
They
just
tried to make it a production story, though, right? Was that the problem?
Man, we got the gold mine restarted. I brought in
Yeah.
an old country manager for Anglo who came in and
Yeah.
actually restarted. But we didn't have any gold. So that was a real problem. So we had all the people around the mine. They literally walked around.
Dude, I was
the town
panning the
and
tailings for
grabbed
days.
boulders and threw it
Wow.
through the mill.
Yeah.
And then we recovered gold and made like these 20-ounce little like
Ingots.
ingots. Yeah.
Wow.
I was panning gold in the tailings.
Yeah. There's tons of gold in the tailings.
I was like, there's a shit ton of gold in the tailings.
And
here.
then mud pile.
Yeah. They're like, we're leaching it. And then anyway, it was a trip, that Paraguay with the bed bugs
And the Nazis.
And
the
then
Nazis. Yeah.
Gangsters.
Like
Not
super
a
weird.
typical.
Yeah. There were 2 governors of the state that I was in. One governor left for a vacation in Mexico. The other guy comes in, signs a resignation letter for it, sends it to the national government. Guy comes back. The guy's literally sitting in his chair.
Wow.
Like he's sitting in his office and he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm the governor. And he's like, no, you're not. And then there was a split in the state. So half of them believe that he actually did resign. The other half didn't.
So there's
So then I had to negotiate with 2 governors.
so there were co-governors.
So no, they were just fighting. So nothing ever got done.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
so just be wary where you invest in your in life.
This is what people don't know. They don't know this shit.
Mm.
Anyway.
Anyway,
So is there
Good
anything
spot.
else we want to say? Anything else we didn't touch on before we wrap it up? We're getting the wrap it up signal from Stefan. I'm not sure why, but we're getting the wrap it up.
No, I think we touched on the 3 main arms of the business. Not on royalties so much, but we got some cool stuff in the
We'll be
works with
back.
that arm.
darts, and CEO.
Yeah.
We'll be
darts.
back.
Yeah.
We'll be
There you
back.
go.
Yeah, look, I mean, stay tuned. We got lots of stuff. We're going to talk to some cool people. Sometimes it's going to be interesting guests we'll have on. Sometimes it's this where we're going to shoot the shit, talk stories, and talk what we like and what we're investing in, and what we're up to. And then sometimes it will be like a deal room where we get to
It's awesome.
berate people with questions that they don't want to answer.
Awesome.
That was fun, guys.
Yeah.
Good start.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
cheers.
Thanks, Steph.
Great.